This how, that's all. This how, that's walk. This the dad pod, the dad pod, the dad pod.
Hey, what's going on, world? Once again, it's your boy Midas, and we got Elmo right here. Excuse me, Sam Long. We got the dad pod. Man, we started going into talking about early tattoos of me and him got, man. We both went to this guy. We were saying with a guitar string, but tell him what he said. When we got done, he told us to save the needles.
Yeah, like he took the guitar string. He's like, "You coming back?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, and he coiled it up. He took it out the CD player motor.
Yeah.
And he put it in a Ziploc bag. And he put it. And I was like, this motherfucker got it.
And I was like, 100%. He rolled it up too, so to make sure that nothing.
Yeah. He was like, it's safe.
It's crazy. And we were so excited. You guys coming back? Oh, we coming back.
I'm $150.
And then Sam wasn't even 18. He was
I got kicked out the house for this tattoo.
It was 18, right? So I turned 18 in October. He turned 18 in November. So we get there. The guy's about to tattoo him, and Sam being him, he's like, "I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't turn 18 until next month." He had the exact days too. It was like 21 days. Like the guy was like, "You're good."
Listen, I don't give a fuck. I just got out of jail. I just got out of prison for bank robbery.
Oh my gosh!
I ain't gonna say this man's name, but like, if you're in Blythe, you probably know.
You probably got a tab on. I remember. I think you come down at some point. It was like, you know what? You never know whatever happened to him. We're like, yeah, he got stabbed. He died. Like,
oh shit!
He did. I mean, again, y'all never wouldn't make fun of nothing. It was just like, gosh, damn, what an experience. We go from this, kind of conversation to all of a sudden it's like, damn, what the fuck? What happened to that guy? Damn, for real? He was really about that life. But anyway, shoot, that runs right into like, I guess maybe the first conversation of this is like he was kind of talking about, talking to us about, I guess mistakes or you were also saying like consent, with women and just doing stupid, dumb shit, kind of as a child.
And like the birds and the bees. It's like my dad like never gave me that conversation. And it's like my son, like he's 12 years old now and like he don't live with me. But like he's still growing up and it's like, all right, it's time to have that like conversation with him.
Yeah.
Like I'm nervous about it.
I haven't either. There's been like I've had some scenarios where I've tested the waters, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, look, she got a fat ass or something, you know what I mean? And just kind of test him, he's like, Dad, he'll kind of, play that. But I don't know. I tested some other ones too. Where just like, man, that's a good looking guy right there. Look how strong he is. He's like, Dad, what? Like, I was just checking. He's like, I'm not gay. And I didn't say that. I was just testing the waters, wanted to see what you was going to throw back. You know what I mean? But I haven't had no full on. I mean, I had a little bit recently. And it was kind of like, honestly, because I was bothered or annoyed by social media. Like they do have their cell phones. And even though I limit how long they can be on it or whatever you want to say, they're still on it. And so there's some emotions I feel like aren't real. You're reading this emotion and you think because somebody else said it, you feel it too, So anyway, the quick conversation I had with my son was that with testosterone hormones and things like that, how you are old enough to get a girl pregnant. Do you understand? Like that's how. And so I didn't go over the full birds and the bees concept, but my assumption is they know already by 12. I knew what sex was by 12. There was no question about it. I mean
like it's crazy to me. Like I started like listen, that's crazy. I started jerking off when I was like 10.
Yeah, damn.
And like I try to talk to my son, and like I'm not trying to call him out. He's just like maybe he's lying, he's doing his thing, like whatever. But he's like, "Nah, don't do that."
Yeah, I don't think if my dad ever asked me that, I'd have said I did. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think so at all.
And that's fair, but it's like I still want to have like the conversation with him.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Like, listen, like what you're like. If you are, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like. That's part of being a person. Like, don't be like I used to feel so much shame, about it. Like maybe it was like my Mormon upbringing or something. Like I don't want that for them. It's just like, listen, you're a person, right? Like, that's like, you're gonna have these urges,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
And I know. I know. I'm like, I guess for me, I was like, it went until I got a girlfriend to where I think my parents started talking about it. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, man, it wasn't, and I wasn't until 15, 16. Like, I was late. So it's like, I didn't have that kind of conversation. And now that you're bringing it up, I'm almost like, man, I don't know how, I feel like you almost just kind of had to throw jabs in there every now and then, little tidbits of life.
yeah, and like I remember, like my dad out of all dads actually did try to like
Yeah.
have the conversation, and like it was weird, and I like fine if it's weird with my kids, like that'll be their experience. But like I've been like reluctant to look at like advice or like anything, because when it comes to that, like I want it to come from me. Like this is like, you want to go find out elsewhere, fine, but this is
Yeah, yeah.
mine. This is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I can give you. And like, don't get me wrong, like I was never some Casanova like you. You were like always the one who could like see the signs and
Oh,
like shit like that.
that was a perfect other one. Hold on. We'll get to the signs here in a second. That's a perfect like way to slide it right in there too, right? Well, I was thinking about like with that, we're talking with the kids. I think a lot of, well, like I said, what I do is a little bit of jabs, a little bit of here, there, throughout just regular day to day lessons. Where like in my experience, at least, I do have my wife here with me, so they do get to see certain scenarios of how I treat her. So there is like that, like same thing even without my wife being here, they get to see how I speak, my son or my daughter, see how I speak to other women or people out, in public. And so like those are little ways I think that do help. And then as far as like the sex part goes, I'm like, I've had enough of those conversations with both of my kids, where in a sense, like you're saying, being a Casanova, it was ultimately just, led me to your mom. That's how it was like. I was looking for the right one, and I did it the wrong way. But, so it's like, all we can do is go from our own experiences, right? Because even like in your scenario where, your parents actually split up, and then, you had two different dads almost in a sense, or stepdad, right? Or two different mothers, stepmother, or whatever, two different households. And it's like, I mean, how you're like 10 already by then, right?
Well, my parents split up about 7.
Oh, okay, so see early. So that's what I mean. Like, we all could only go off our experience of like of what we went through, or how it was, And it's like that. Like I would say, both my parents were in the same house, but it felt like two different households. My mom and dad were so different. The birds and the bees talking with them was just drastically.
I mean, I've been like, I went to your house, like I understand.
Yeah,
exactly what you're talking
absolutely.
about. Like you would not know that these two people live together.
Yeah, never, right?
Nah.
And the next one was like you said, like signs. Like what signs? You asked me in the text, what was it about? You kind of say like, see the signs in what? Oh, you were saying book smart, and I guess for lack of a better word, street smart. And, intuition. I guess
Right.
you say. So it's like you're saying, like, how do you teach that to your children?
Right. It's like, how do you like? There's like, you could be good at memorizing and things like that, but like you also need to be good at operating within the world. And if you're not like connecting with people on an actual level, or even if you're not connecting, if you're not understanding where people are coming from, because like, listen, like if you want to be manipulative and like, all right, I understand this person's feeling this way, I'm going to act this way, like, all right, everybody's got their strategies. I tend to stay away from that just because I'm not higher than mighty. It's just like this phobia. My mom used to like say stuff like, you're being manipulative. And like, for whatever reason, like it, like now I'm like hyper
Afraid to do it.
afraid of being manipulated.
I don't remember if I had this conversation with you or not, but I kind of I had that conversation with my mom where I got really good at manipulating people straight up, like point blank, and it was like I hate that word because I'm not trying to do them dirty or nothing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, I can get people to do what I want them to do. And she was like, you know, my mom being so, you know, God, like I said, like, you know, Christian, I say, you know, inspiration was the word, and it was like I love that, right? So it's like inspiration would be the word rather than manipulative because you're inspiring people to do something, right? When your heart's in it for the right place, you're not manipulating, you know. And so, I mean, now I don't care. Even then, I manipulate sometimes too. My heart is in the place of, again, like I said before, I'm trying to keep my peace, right? So if I have to manipulate you to believe that I'm a certain kind of person at work to make my peace when I go home, then that's what I will do for the day.
That is fair.
But I love that word.
And like and like I think that's a great way of like thinking about it. And like I don't know, it's like this may be like a weird tangent, but like it's sort of like when I was in college, I went to a Catholic college, and one of the classes was looking at things through the Catholic imagination. So it's like, and we would watch movies, and you would have to say, like, okay, like, how is this Catholic? And you can do that with regular life.
Absolutely.
And like, this is in college that this is happening. This is like, and the point of college is to teach you how to think, right? Like, any like buddy that's in college would say that's what college is about. It's teaching you how to think. And I think about that. Like, if they can force me to try to think about things in a Catholic imagination, why can't I force myself to think about things in the way that I want to? And I don't want to be like off base or anything, but like, just like, all right, like, you're a good person.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm like, I definitely we talked about this before. I was like, it is sort of like a block, right? Like they say, same thing with a writer's block or something. Those things are real, you know. Like until you break that block, right? It really is that. But with like, I know I'm trying to think of some of that with that viewpoint. I think it's always hard to like, right? Maybe you give great advice and then you don't take your own, you know, shit like that, right? It's always hard to do it yourself. You know what I mean?
100%.
That's always hard to do yourself because I can think of a billion times I've given some great advice and then I'm like, damn, I didn't follow none of that. Who was that just said that shit?
Yeah, man.
But you know, there was some you said earlier that I wanted to kind of touch back on too, as we were talking about the signs and stuff, and understanding was the word you said, and I think that's the perfect word overall. I feel like, and I guess as you're saying, kind of like, you know, you were saying a Catholic outlook, or I say like a Christian outlook, just of, you know, trying to think like Jesus, who would be the, you know, how they say in the Bible, and you know, what would Jesus do? I think that's what I do in most scenarios when I notice the signs or whatever it may be with people. Is I try to like, you know, because I'm quick to get in my head real quick. And like I was saying, I don't know if I said it on the podcast, or I know I said it online, but I was just saying, I was like, look, Jesus is working on me, right? I'm safe, but I got hands. I'll smack the shit out you, and I'll pray about forgiveness a little later. Because I'm telling you right now, don't be playing with me. I'm really right there. So it's like, so I'm saying it like that, right? But it's like, with that, because I'm so always there, I've tried to take a moment, pause. All right. How would he approach this, right? How would this? Because everybody hated this man, you know what I mean, and he still approached people and said, "This is right, though. This is the right way, though." Right? Oh my goodness! Here comes my son yelling in the background. But anyway,
But it's like, listen, Jesus also said crazy shit. Like, listen, if they don't listen to the word, put them to the sword.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's like,
and I mean, you would have to continue on, I guess, what the entire story is, right? Because even in something in a sense like this, right? Because I mean, okay, if we're gonna go, you know, like what is it? If we're gonna go into the book in that kind of sense, it would be like God already knew those people that did not follow suit we're going to take down 100 million people next year. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's telling you what's going to happen, right? He knows the future already in that kind of sense. So like as far as like that, lay down the sword. That's not really crazy if you know about it. You know what I mean?
I mean, it seems kind of crazy to me, even based on what you said. That like that
well,
like
the all
God,
seeing, all knowing.
that God would say like, "Listen, you're gonna damn hundreds of millions." Like that doesn't. Maybe Old Testament.
Old
God.
Testament, yeah.
Oh, maybe Old.
I guess you're right because if
God.
Jesus was there, yeah.
But that ain't New Testament. That
Yeah,
ain't
you're
Jesus
right.
thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean that he didn't still speak that to Jesus.
But Jesus, like in Jesus's time, like Jesus
Yeah.
said, like if they will not listen, like to the sword. But he also said shit like, "Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's," which is like one of my favorite sayings. Which is like, listen, like I'm God in heaven, and you must like give to me your soul. But also, Caesar is the ruler in the world. So like here, like you must give unto him too.
Follow
Because like and like it was so pragmatic. Like Jesus is dope. I love Jesus. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Christian, but like
it was just funny the way you said that shit. Jesus is like, where? No, I feel you. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get so much there, and even then, I got much more Bible to read before I can think of where these phrases come from, whatever like that. But anyway, but that's why I like I said that my whole thing when I'm trying to with people is understanding. I'm trying to bring it to the most calmest point I can be. I'm trying to take away all that anger, all that what I think they said, whatever, and I combat it. Trying to understand, I guess is what it is. And most of the time when you do that, I feel like you used to definitely, like you said, do it real good with feeling people's energy. And I feel like the more that I've worked on it, the better I've gotten it now as well. Where I can just feel when somebody walks in and I'm just like, ugh, like I don't want to deal with that energy. I can feel it, or whatever. It's a sadness, happiness, whatever it may be. I can feel that energy. And it's like that also helps, I guess like we're saying signs, and I'm sure you know a billion of them, right? Somebody got their shoulders tucked in, chin down, right? That's like they're sad, stuff like that. Somebody's chin in the air, they're not listening when you're talking, like those little things.
don't get me wrong. You're bringing these things up, like, and I like that you're bringing up the specifics because, like, for me, it's like I don't always pick up on it, but what I'm looking for is like, oh yeah, tell me that. Like, oh, that's and like sometimes, sometimes I'm right, and like the sad part is like when I'm right, things tend to be like going badly.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm able to take what you're saying and like preempt that, 100%.
And see, like you said, with okay, if you're right, things are going badly, but that's probably because that's the most in tuned emotion of others you are with. You had plenty of things go badly in your life, so you know what that shit looks like, what it feels like, what that body language is, right? You know what that looks like without words. So that's probably just your strongest trait in that area. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
And definitely with. I swear, man, I'll have to find this damn book again. But it's written by. He was an one of those people that like try to talk you off walking off the ledge, or like a hostage negotiator.
Yeah, like
is what he was, or something like that. So, but this whole book was written by I think it's called Getting to Yes. I'm almost positive it's called Getting to Yes.
I may have read,
and I think
book.
You did because way back when I read it, I talked about it to you. But it's written by an FBI guy, and so he talks about those little things, the body language, right? Like a lot of people know with the lying, the people say they look away when you lie, you look down, look up when you're thinking. But he gave so many of these little points that I just took on to, like, I'm gonna try that. Like it was, same thing. I say it all the time. I only talk to a handful of people. I forget who the fuck I talked to about what, but they were saying in that same book that when Botox first came out, all these women were getting Botox in their foreheads, right, to prevent those wrinkles. Well, when they had newborns, the babies didn't know what the mother was feeling because most of your emotions and what you're saying is your facials. So, hey, oh my gosh, baby, no, right? You can't see that the baby doesn't know what was going on, and it was just an odd period in time where that kind of learning, again, those little subtle things.
I love shit like that.
It was, as I said, the book was amazing. And again, it helped me really try to pay attention to little things, which doesn't always benefit me. I do it to my wife all the time, and she gets pissed off. Why did I say that? I'm like, I'm telling you what you're saying. No, like you don't got to tell me. I'm telling you, and she'll lie and ignore it, but I know I'm right. It's like it's just proven.
Yeah. It's just like I noticed.
I'm like, shit, I'm getting nervous and shit. If you come around the corner,
like I noticed, like I don't look people in the eye. Like I look at cheeks, I look at foreheads, but like not in the eyes.
That's interesting.
And it's like it's just always been like the only reason I ever did it is because one time I heard somebody say, like, if you want somebody to think you're looking at them in the eye, look at their cheeks or their forehead. Like what they didn't say is like you should also maybe look at somebody in the eye.
That's interesting. I mean, for whatever reason, I feel like I always pick an eye. I pick an eye. Like I'm gonna look in this eye.
Well, you have to, right?
I definitely do look at other because like you say that, like, okay, if we're talking, right, and you're like, hey, do you want to go out tonight? And I'm like, not really, right? That's a sign. People do that. Like, I don't really want to, right? Touch, like, same thing. Those are things in that book. It taught me, right? Certain spots of your face. Like, they say the higher it goes, the more stressed you are. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Tonight. Right? It was like, but I mean, those little things. So it's like I'm looking in the eyes, but I'm looking for everything. I'm looking if these people. It depends on what the conversation is for sure. But like I'm looking if people are tapping their hands, if people are distracted. Because honestly, I get asked probably anybody. I get distracted. I mean, I get bothered when I have a serious conversation and somebody's distracted. It irks the shit out of me. I will stop fucking talking. I will just fucking stop. And it's like, most of the people now that are around me, they're like, I hear you, keep going. And I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know. But stuff like that, right? It's with, I don't know, those little subtleties, I guess, is what I was saying.
But like the way that like I used to like just tell people, like, listen, I'm gonna be honest. There's probably gonna come a time when I'm talking to you about a thing that you're gonna want to stop talking to me. I need you to understand what you need to do is to tell me stop talking. Like you're gonna give me signs. I'm telling you.
There's only one time I could think of with you, and I don't remember what I said. You kept going, and I was like, all right. Okay, I'm like, all right, I don't care. You're like, we just got quiet. I was like, I can't think of much. I mean, besides when we were younger, like you said, you used to just argue. But beyond that,
no. I don't do that too much no more. But like, I'm trying to move beyond the guy that's just a steamroller that says, listen, I'm a steamroller. Either get out of the way or like to say like. Be like, oh, like, no, it's...
Yeah, it's all right to say that.
Let's be, like, collaborative.
You know what? See, I'm going to circle way back to it. Oh, we kind of skipped over subject. We only got a few more minutes anyway. But we're, talking about, like, with our boys getting a certain age, like you were kind of saying consent, right? That kind of conversation where I guess I started thinking about I have had a couple moments where my son, and again, like I said, I think because I sprinkle a little bit of here or there all the time, but where, he was like, some of his friends like, oh, I should just kiss her anyway. And he was like, no, you can't do that, And it's crazy because even in movies, like you think about the movies we grew up in, it's not like that anymore, but like the 90s romantic comedies, they always just kiss the girl, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Little Mermaid, just kiss the girl, right? Now, like, and it's like, it's not, and like, again, this is where the hard part comes in where those conversations go with, your kid where there is moments and you can tell, right? That's how a kiss happens. It just happens, right? But normally there's signs, right? You can tell normally, so you don't want to just So I agree. Like that is interesting. I don't feel like I've had just a full on conversation, but I've definitely had to stop and go these little bullet points.
Right. And that's like I said, like I got it scheduled. Like
As I say, you said it's coming up, huh?
I'll say make or break. Come Wednesday, like the conversation is gonna be what the conversation is.
Yeah.
But but it also pumps me up because, like I said, like my kids aren't around. Like I'm not around my son on a day to day.
Yeah.
So like the opportunity to like be a dad and it's scary. Like I'm fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Like oh, am I gonna fuck it up? But like
I think you should keep it like because you're single now. You can still respect his mom while explaining I'm on the same level in the sense of I have to have consent just as you have to have consent. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be the same, of course, but you know what I'm saying? Like you can at least have a relatable point. Like man, I'm back in the same boat. I had to think about this myself. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I definitely wasn't planning on taking that happening.
I just mean that's kind of where you're at, and it's like he's 12. I always kind of like with my kid, I try to be his friend as much as I can, but of course I'm his parent, and that's what I always wanted in my dad was just to kind of like a big homie, like man, hell yeah, pops, man, pops always used to give me business, and so it's like that's what I try to be.
It's like I tried to give the friend so much, but also like there comes time to where it's like, nah,
hands down,
this is dad. Like
yeah,
you gotta understand, and that's just the way. Like you ain't gotta like dad. And to be honest, it's gonna hurt me if you don't. Like it's gonna bother me. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah. I think I said that one before too. With my pops, I was all upset about something with Michael, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna be mad." I'm talking to my dad. My dad goes, "How many times you been mad at me?" I'm like, "Plenty." He's like, "You ever feel like you hate me?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" Blah blah blah. From this year and this year. And he's like, "And here you are, on the phone." And it was like, in other words, you got over that shit, right? I'm supposed to be your fucking dad. You expect me to be your fucking dad. So when it happens, boo-hoo, you're upset, and then you move on from it because that's our relationship. And that's what's the same thing, my dad would never not my friend at all, but yeah, in my head, not as much as I would have liked. Or same thing with my son. Like I think I was saying before, me and him play video games. Like I look forward to playing video games with him. Or same thing. Oh, we have to go play football outside, whatever. I look forward to that kind of stuff. So because I do try to be someone's friend, but we've had moments because me and him talk shit all the time. And so where he'll walk in, same thing with big head. He don't cuss, but big head this or whatever. But there was something I don't know. We were joking earlier in the day, and I told him something that he needed to do, and he was like, "Man, I'm not doing that." And so I just paused for a second. And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. I thought you were just joking with me. I'll do it right now." Like what I mean? Like so, same thing where he understands. Like okay, like you said, now I'm dadding right now.
Yeah. So 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, listen, I'm real easy until I ain't.
Yeah. That's another quote I love. It said, man, I'm real laid back, but I lean forward real quick. Yeah, straight up.
But I try to give them that freedom to be like, listen, I'm gonna give you the rope. You got it.
Yep.
You're the one tying that motherfucking knot. That ain't me.
Yeah,
that's on you.
That's on my.
And listen, I see you about to step off that chair. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna step in because you're acting fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to give him a little. Yeah, that's the only way you will learn. That's the only way you learn.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're friends. Like, I love you to death. Want you to love me. Want you to like me. At the end of the day, that dad shit override it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the only, like you said, that's the only way you're going to learn. Only way they're going to actually understand is, go, all right.
And the fact is like, I feel like they, I would have appreciated, the boundaries. I would have wanted somebody to, these are the guardrails.
Yeah.
Don't be doing this dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and I've known a few. Honestly, fucking you and Jimmy definitely had much more leeway. I always felt that not like that I did, but you guys had guardrails too. You know what I'm saying? And it's
I
like,
mean, one of the things that I used to say was like, I never had enough money, but I was like, you know what? Like, my plan was I wanted to fly from Phoenix to Maine and back because the only rule was you got to be back by midnight. And I was like,
I
I
guess,
was like, all right, let me look at the flights.
let me test this shit out.
Like, logistically, it works. I just never had the money. And I wanted to, like, order a lobster dinner and bring the
No
receipt
reason.
back.
Oh my
No reason.
God.
I'm a hateful person in
Yeah,
some
that's
ways.
hilarious. That's hilarious. They
I
get a
hate-
lobster dinner and bring the receipt back.
Yeah. I hate
And
like,
this is before the internet in a sense where you could have just ordered that, like
Yeah.
like the receipt. I mean, you know. Yeah, yeah.
like I said, I'm a hateful person. in
Oh
some
my
ways.
gosh. I just want to get back. What was it? A vindictive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it in me.
Well, it's just like the challenge. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You like that challenge. Okay, well, I'm gonna challenge this, and we're gonna prove this, prove me, prove that.
Yeah. I just like, you got a stupid rule. Okay. I see you.
Yeah, we need more people like that.
I got a stupid solution.
Need to teach your kids more like that too. Think just like that. That's the way.
I mean, that's the way the way that I pretty much am with my kids is like, you better think the way you think and don't let nobody think.
Don't let nobody dumb it down.
And like, listen, I mean, I like it and I'm going to push. I may get mad, but at the end of the day, like, I ain't never gave you nothing but what I am.
Yeah, what I got.
And
But all right, anyway, we probably got 10 seconds right here. That was the dad power for the day. I hope y'all enjoyed. Comment. Peace.
all right,
Let it.
all right.